Hey everybody, it's Joel.
And it's Nautica.
We came on here today to talk about how we met.
Ooh, funny, fun story. So, backstory is I don't know if many of you know, but I was single for a long time. Everybody probably knows already, but for about 20 years, I have been single. And of course, I was looking and dating and talking to different people, but I just heard the Lord say on many of them that they wasn't my husband or they would do something crazy like other women I know you guys have experienced. You talking to somebody and they say they're Christian and all of a sudden they want to sleep with you and you're like, are we both on the same page? Are we both reading the same Bible? Or they would just be a catfish. Like they would say, hey, let's meet up. And all of a sudden they had a car broke down or can't find their keys. And it was just always some silly story. But I am so glad that even, you go through all these different things like heartbreaks and just all the nonsense of dating. And I'm so glad that I went through that because I finally got to meet this mighty man of God.
Yes, and I was single for 5 years before I met my wife. And obviously, I have a son, and she accepted him. And we met online. And I
You
want to,
spilled the tea already?
well,
He ain't even let y'all wait for a few minutes. He spilled the tea. Yes. So we did
yes.
meet online.
So we met online and we were looking. I was waiting, and we met online. So from there, I believe that I waved at her first. Right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, he waved at me, and I think for about a week and a half, or I don't can't even remember the time frame. I saw that he waved, and I was like, I don't know, I'm not gonna wave back. So let's rewind a little bit. So I do want to talk about just online dating and how at first I wasn't open to the idea of online dating. But when you think about online dating today, or even just meeting somebody, it's very difficult to meet people, especially when you're not in that college age range and you're not seeing people around your age range every single day. And so when I got out of college, it was like, well, where do I meet people now? And I would started going to like coffee shops just on my lunch break just to be outside in the community. Or I would, they say look around when you go to the grocery shopping, or you want to go to Home Depot and just look around for things that you need for your house and things like that. So, I was just out there just trying to see what was out there. I would go to different ministries. I went to singles events and just live life. I would even started doing a gym membership, and I was just making myself and putting myself in position to meet any potential people that were out there. They say he's not going to show up at your doorstep. Like it's not going to be the Amazon driver. Or maybe it is for some people. I don't know. But just putting myself out there, being in prayer, and just being busy about the Lord. So being busy about anything that had to do with Jesus, like very active in my church, still have been active, always will be active, because I do feel like the Lord has called us to ministry. But just being out there, and just like Ruth, she put herself out there and she laid at Boaz's feet. And no, I wasn't pursuing, but I was just putting myself in position to be pursued, to show people that I'm available. You know what I mean? So yeah, we met online. We met on an app, a Christian dating app called the Holy App. And y'all, I had been on so many different apps, and I wouldn't make it a full-time job, but just being out there and swiping through and sending messages back, and to find somebody that was really a real person, first of all, that was amazing, because you find so many people and they're not even real. They never want to meet you or anything. So first of all, to even find you, well, we found each whatever, however the Lord worked it out, but that you were even real. And that day, I remember I was driving to Orlando, and I remember he said he worked in Orlando, and I didn't have my makeup. I was just gonna go to a friend's house and swim with my son, and this idea came to me like, hey, let's try to meet up, because I would try to meet the person as soon as possible because I didn't want to waste time. So I remember I was like, hey, I'm going to Orlando actually. And he's like, well, come meet me at my job. And I was like, oh, this man is serious.
Yeah. Sure.
So I had to go to CVS, y'all, and buy a whole new set of makeup. Yeah, I'm a CVS girl. I get my makeup from there. It's Maybelline. And get some new makeup because my best friend and I were not the same shade. So got some new makeup, got an outfit from her closet, and wore some busted shoes, swimming shoes, and said, all right, I'm going to show up. So tell us about how you felt when we were about to meet.
So when I told you that, oh, that's me. At first, I was nervous, but I was like, all right, so let's meet, and then from there we can plan a date. So I felt that, God told me, okay, let's meet. That was an opportunity when you told me, oh, I'm in Orlando. So I was like, great, let's meet. So come to my job. I was nervous a bit at first, but after I saw you, it was like love at first sight. So
It's so different because I saw him, but I was like, I ain't never gonna see him again. So I remember being nervous too because I was getting ready. I was like, this is gonna be a waste of time. I just wasn't sure about it, but I said, hey, Nautica, don't, just give it a chance and just see where it goes. Don't exit out before it starts. So, it was just a fight in my mind about, is this gonna work out? Or I just had to just keep reminding myself to think the best. I don't know if you know that scripture. I can't think of exactly where it is. It says, think on whatsoever is good and whatsoever is lovely. So in my mind, my flesh wanted to think negative, but my spirit just kept reminding me to of something, think of the good, think of the well, think of the lovely, as the scripture encourages us to do, and not think of, what can go wrong. So on my way, got there, and yeah, like I said, showed up, and I was like, I'm not too sure about this. And so I came back, and my best friend, she was like, did you meet him? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't think I'm going to go out or anything. And she was always like, encouraging me to be open and not be closed off like I had been in the past. And so I am so glad that I gave a second opportunity and a third chance, because now I'm married to the man of my dreams.
yeah, that's great. So so after that, when we met and we started talking, I told her that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think on the second or third day, I told her that I loved her. So, and then I know it took a little bit for her, but as time went by, we started growing. We started growing, and the relationship started growing from there.
Yeah.
And then I believe a couple of months after I told her that I loved her, probably two to no, it was probably 3, maybe 4 months. And that's when you said, and it happened so weird how she said I love you. So I was driving home. We just got from seeing each other. I was driving home, and on the phone call, she said, "Oh, she said, babe, I love you." And then I like had to check my. I was like, what? So there was when she told me that she loved me after I told her months before.
Yeah, I never felt pressure just to say it back. I wanted to say it exactly when I felt it, and so
Yeah.
I said it then. And then I was like, man, you didn't even make it just a special moment. You just said it.
So,
And so, anyway, it was a good thing. So, I think this video we just want to put out there, wanted to share our story about how we met, and just wanted to put out there that just give that person, if we had to give a message or a bottom line, was give that person that you least expect a second opportunity. Give them a
yeah.
chance and don't be so close minded. And you never know if you will end up married. So we'll see you guys in the next video.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.